This is kind of another one of those metrics that just kind of quantify the supply squeeze. And really what you see in these boom and bust cycles is that long-term holders kind of act as the smart money, right? So during bear markets, during periods of consolidation, what we'll see is long-term holders, essentially that threshold being 155 days, but with kind of a weighted average threshold, which we can link in the YouTube link below. But it weights out the longer you hold your coins, because the probability that you spend Bitcoin, the longer you hold it, actually decreases. And we can see this on chain, all the probabilities and UTXOs. And so, as these holders continue to accumulate during bear markets, during consolidation, we'll see this long-term holder supply just basically whipsaw up every single kind of downtrend or bear market. And so even though price has ripped up to new all-time highs, we've seen this long-term holder supply continue to increase. And actually the funny part is, just as we tick this all-time high, we see that last bar there, we see that decrease. And throughout the history of Bitcoin, what you actually see is during parabolic reflexive uptrends, where Bitcoin is trading at multiples of its previous all-time high, we'll see these long-term holders shave off a little bit of that supply to newer market participants naturally. So it's kind of like counter-cyclical. And so now it'll be interesting to see what happens next with the long-term holders, and if they distribute like previous market cycles, or if they continue to accumulate. And I think we'll be watching this with a close eye going forward. And so, yeah, this cost-basis ratio is a little bit similar to kind of the long-term holder supply, in the sense that we see these patterns during bull and bear cycles based on short-term and long-term holders, right? So we can compute, because of on-chain and because we have this transparent ledger, we can compute essentially the cost basis of these market participants. So when was the price that you acquired your coins? And we can see that just off of addresses and the block height and what the price of Bitcoin was at that time. And so what you can see is during a bull market, highlighted in green here, what you see is that the cost basis, the realized price technically, of when the Bitcoin was acquired for short-term holders against long-term holders explodes. So long-term holders relative to short-term holders during bull markets, their cost basis is a lot lower naturally. And what you see kind of during bear markets or during consolidation periods is that multiple, that ratio trend back down. You can kind of think of that as like a spring just compressing, right? So what we've seen since May is that we've seen the short-term holder cost basis continue to decline as some market participants sold for a loss. But more specifically, we saw that long-term holder cost basis continue, that floor almost continue to creep up. And so that dynamic is playing into the supply squeeze. And what we're seeing now is over basically the last couple of days is this ratio here, which during a reflexive bull market trends upwards. That ratio just started to tick upwards a little bit. So from what we're seeing, that kind of signals, hey, this is the start of another kind of fun cycle here. Despite the bullish price action, we've seen kind of like bear market hodler dynamics, in the sense that they continue to accumulate. And so now with all-time high broken today, I think we might start to see this green market cycle where it gets crazy on end for months at a time. And this is just an up close view of that of 2020. We see that kind of that metric right at the bottom there, just tick upwards, tick green. So we'll see if that trend continues, or if we continue to kind of see the red, the bear market dynamics, despite the bullish price action, which would be, in my opinion, even more bullish, a lengthening cycle. But I would like to hear your input on kind of what you think about this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I tend to agree. I think we're getting in some pretty exciting times. I mean, with this metric, what you look at too is when kind of long-term holders, we went through this previous all-time high and they took profit at pretty high rates, over 700%. And so you had a lot of old coins getting spent there. And then as you get into their cost basis increasing after they accumulate, now it's kind of forced that for them to sell again, for long-term holders to sell their coins, and the ones that want to, you're going to have to see higher prices. They're going to demand it. And so now it's just waiting on kind of the new demand that's coming into the market. How much is that going to be? How much is that going to be from retail, from ETFs, from institutions? So pretty exciting. We're just kicking off like the first week of starting to see that new demand roll in. So I think we're just in the beginning of it.
Bullish, man. It's going to be a fun couple months here. For those that enjoy just kind of some of these metrics, analyzing the on-chain trends and seeing what's happening under the hood, make sure to subscribe to the deep dive. Sam and I, dig into this stuff and cover all the metrics and kind of what's happening in the Bitcoin market every single day. And for those that don't want to pay for the paid tier, we publish stuff on a bi-weekly basis for our free subscribers. So check that out and see if you enjoy. Thanks for watching.